Frogman Friday.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome to Frogman Friday. I'm Ryan Birdman Parrott. Today, our badass guest is Michael Sarraille, aka Mike. He served 20 years as a U.S. Navy SEAL, exiting service as a lieutenant commander. He founded the Talent War Group in 2017 in Austin, Texas. You can follow Mike on social media, handles to follow the show. To learn more about Talent War Group, check out talentwargroup.com. Brother, welcome to the show.
Dude, thank you for having me.
It's an honor. I've been watching you post for a while, just getting after it. You're spreading the love across the country. You get out of the service, you dedicate a whole life to service, and then you found this company. Tell us more about the Talent War Group, what it is.
So when I was close to retiring, I had the opportunity to go get an MBA at the University of Texas. And dude, like much like this opportunity in Everest, I was fortunate. There's dozens upon dozens of SEALs that deserve to be in that position more so than me, and they had earned it. So I felt like I was leaving my brothers behind. I actually started, Admiral McCraven helped me found something called the Vetted Foundation, which basically set up an MBA Lite for senior military guys with 10 years or more getting out to give them the financial acumen. And that did well, but eventually got killed in Texas due to politics. So I pivoted after I cried for about 1 week, pivoted to a for-profit and renamed it Talent War Group. And so we do leadership consulting. I've got probably more Green Berets than I do Navy SEALs, tier 1 guys that come into companies and teach them, basically set up sustainable leadership development pipelines. But we also do executive search. And our primary sort of line with executive search is taking guys like you out of the SEAL teams and special operations, or the top percentage in any MOS in the military, and placing them not in Fortune 500s, not to be another number, placing them into small to mid-sized businesses where they can step into senior management positions right off the bat because they know the greatest skill, how to lead. And that's what these small to mid-sized businesses want. They'll teach you the business side, they'll teach you the industry, but leadership it's a rare skill in any industry.
Interesting. That's interesting. So did you always have this background where you knew that leadership was something that you wanted to do, or is it something that the military brought you up into wanting to do?
Dude, I was a freaking idiot when I joined, and I started in the Marine Corps. Unruly, which is, if you look at all the SEALs, there's one common thread. We have a healthy disrespect for authority. But and actually, we foster that in the SEAL teams because we want you to challenge our ideas. Well, some great leaders in the SEAL teams want you to challenge their ideas. Other leaders want you to fall in line. But the Marine Corps turned me around, man. I graduated high school with a 2.98 or 2.9. And then after a few years in the Marine Corps, they sent me back to college and I graduated with a 3.7. I assure you I didn't get smarter during those 4 years. And dude, just great mentors, great coaches. I owe everything I have to the military. And I mean, we saw the best leaders, man. And the best leaders weren't usually the guys above me. They were the peers or the guys below me. Watching guys like you on the battlefield at night, like basically demonstrate selfless valor on a nightly basis. I feel like an imposter even being around these guys. And I learned so much from them. And then you step into the business world, and I'm not trying to be overly negative. It's like, wow, leadership is a total deficit. You can't treat people like that. If you're not building relationships with your people, then your people aren't going to go. They're not going to go to hell and back for you. And so the business world doesn't go through a leadership curriculum like we do in the military. That's all we talk about. It's baked into our DNA. It's baked into every conversation. And dude, if we can help the business world just a little bit, these companies become stronger so that the Chinese economy doesn't totally overtake us, then that seemed like a good profession for me. And then if I'm placing great leaders I know coming from the service into companies, then dude, it's a win-win for me emotionally and spiritually.
That is awesome. So, we have a lot of my friends, a lot of my teammates that served with you as well. They watch this, and then also just the general public. Walk us through. I'm a special operations guy, young guy. I get out of the service. I have no direction in life. I come to you. What does that look like? What does that path look like?
Well, it's not that you don't have no direction. It's you're stepping into something that's completely foreign to you. Again, your leadership capabilities. You basically have gotten a PhD in leadership if you served in the SEAL teams for like 10 years. So, really before we even talk about jobs or industries, it starts with you. We call it know thyself. and you got to do a personal inventory of your strengths and weaknesses. And then you've got to be very honest. If you have a wife, she's involved in this equation. You guys have to determine what's important to you. Is it salary? Is it location? Is it title? Is it job acceleration? Is it purpose? And so you've got to find out, and you've got to rack and stack what those priorities are. If it's location, totally get it. If you want to go back to, Billings, Montana, great. We're going to try to teach you how to do a self-search for a job in Billings, Montana. But when you choose location, you do restrict yourselves to the industries that are in that location. If it's salary or if it's industry, then you've opened yourself up to a national search. But that's how the process starts. We want to look at your strengths, weaknesses, and really where you want to end up. Now, we say that where you want to end up, you think you have an idea when you get out, and you really don't freaking know. And sometimes that takes 2 to 5 years to figure it out. When I got out, I'm like, I want to go into investment banking, private equity, or venture capital. Why was that? Because I went to the Navy SEAL events, and the majority of the donors that are there are private equity, investment banking, or venture capital. And when I started my MBA and down the finance track, I'm like, I hate this. And I wasn't playing to my strengths. And so I'm like, you know what? SEALs are good at solving problems for which no book solution exists. In the business world, that's called entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship. And that's why we are also ripe to start companies. But if you're going to go out on your own, just be aware. And you know this, Ryan, it's the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. And I've had more sleepless nights as an entrepreneur than as a SEAL, knowing we're going outside the wire the next day. It's because we were very good at our jobs and we were confident in our skills. As a business guy, I'm not confident yet, dude. I've only been out for 3 years. I'm still figuring the freak out. So
yeah, I hear it, man. Well, I'll tell you what, you get out of this military and you want to become a professional base jumper, which there's zero money in that. You start a nonprofit. Also, again, same thing. I'm like, I'm really heading down a great path on the finance side. But, for me, and I think I see a lot of this where you got to find your passion, right? You had a passion in the military. You did such an elite thing, and you got to find that outside as well. So this is awesome stuff. We're going to direct people after the show to check out your website. We're going to direct them to you. I want to touch now on something special you got coming up, which is Legacy Expeditions. Give us an idea of where it started and then what you're doing.
Well, dude, it sounds like, first off, I've totally copied your business model, and I didn't even know that. So I guess I'm a total plagiarist. Take that as a form of affection and admiration. Hey, dude, I believe, and dude, we are out of balance. When you step out of special operations, you may be a physical freak, but usually people are unbalanced mentally and physically. And I think we see that in ourselves and our peers. Dude, I don't find spirituality in God, even though I'm a Roman Catholic and I do believe in God. I find it in nature and in skydiving, because that's the closest you get. I mean, you are free of everything when you're skydiving. So if you can skydive into nature, it's a double whammy. But Legacy Expeditions, where I want to expand that, and I need to talk to you afterwards because I don't like duplicate efforts. I should just fall under your banner. Is how do we set up trips for guys to do a hey-ho into Idaho, or let's say Denali, and then climb Denali for 17 days? Because I guarantee that's a lot more, it rehabs people a lot more than giving them 17 different pills from the VA. That probably has a higher prospect to help guys out. So that requires a lot of money. I haven't figured that piece out. And while you're doing it, if you can raise money for good foundations like the Navy SEAL Foundation, for this one to Mount Everest, I'm raising for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, because I'm honoring this jump to the guys on Extortion 17, and 25 plus kids were left without their fathers. So if I can raise 500,000 and help secure some of their college educations, that's a win, man.
There's no question that everything that you've been doing, and I've been watching you. I mean, you do this thing with the highest integrity. So this is a really cool operation, something that everybody would dream to go on, that actually has no fear of falling. And that's what I found out too. You don't actually have a fear of heights. You have a fear of falling. That's what I tell everybody. You can do this. But so you're doing this stuff, and I love this model, and it's not my model. We all seem to find the same model, which is we want to help honor our brothers, and we want to do something that makes us feel like we're something again. You want to bring out that GER. So Legacy Expeditions, you're going to do something totally insane coming up here. What exactly is it?
So first off, I'm latching on to Complete Parachute Solutions, their expedition team led by Fred Williams, who was a former Navy SEAL back in the 80s and 90s. Fred's amazing. His expedition team is amazing. Dude, I've got like 700 jumps and I'm the weak link on this team, like by thousands of jumps. All of their members have 10 to 20,000 jumps. We went through some training in Colorado, high altitude canopy training last week. The level of instruction, I wish I had that when I was in the military. I felt my canopy skills at high altitudes went up immensely. But we are leaving on Monday. We are conducting a few jumps in Everest to some of the highest drop zones at 12,500, 15, and then ultimately at 17,000. All of them require oxygen, as you know, because of the exit altitude. If you're landing at 17, usually the exit altitude is at around 25. And then Fred's team is going to try something record setting, even more severe. I won't be on that part because my skills are not there. They're going to be jumping into a very remote region at 20,000 feet and then climbing down to prove the capability of the Complete Parachute Solutions, the MJ systems, which he supplies most of the special operations community. Again, you talked about, testing things for the warfighter. Fred and his team are doing that nonstop, dude. And it was interesting to watch these guys and all the technology that they're bringing in to the mix. But dude, I'm fortunate for this opportunity to have the network and the resources to pull it off. Again, there are hundreds upon hundreds of SEALs that are more equipped, more qualified, and more deserving of this opportunity.
Wow. Okay, so you're leaving on Monday. When do you actually start?
So arrive on the 13th. We're going to trek up for about 3 days to 12,500. We're going to get a few jumps in to shake it out at around 12,500. And then we keep tracking up the mountain to base camp. And eventually the last jump is into base camp at 17,000. I mean, you are literally landing into base camp with all the tents around you. So confined DZs, which you are totally familiar with, which was a little new to me, breaking me of the left-hand patterns and actually the hook turns. So again, a testament to the instruction I got last week, man. I'm excited to pull this off. I'm even more excited to see Mount Everest. I mean, a lot of people don't get that opportunity, and I'm fortunate. And if we can keep the memory alive of Derek Benson, Jonas Kelsaw, Lou Langlis, and Tom Ratzloff, and all the guys, man, we need to do that or they're forgotten. And we need to do it with a smile on our face. I see our brothers and they still have that survivor's guilt, which we're all going to have that, but we've got to turn that into a smile, man. We lucky few, we band of brothers. The fact that we even got to serve with these guys, put a smile on your face and remember them in a way that no one else does. Because they went out shining bright, man, brighter than we will when we will pass away in our beds at the age of 70 or 80 in our sleep. They went out in a way, I could say they went out in the bang, man.
I don't even know how to follow that one up other than to say thank you for what you're doing, brother. That's an amazing feat. That's an amazing feat. And you're always going to continue to keep the brotherhood alive. Their names will never be forgotten.
We'll find a way.
Amen, brother. Well, we're going to put all your information on the end of this. We're going to blast it out to everybody. And hopefully while you're at base camp and you are sucking it up in the craziest of weather, trying to get up there, the money's going to start rolling in, trickling. And by the time you get finished with this expedition, you'll hit your 500K for those families and those kids.
Dude, thank you.
Amen, brother. Hey, well, I appreciate you being on this show. We're going to blast it out like crazy and good luck.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
You too, bro. We'll see you.